while back it was announced that Basic Fun would be purchasing select assets from Arcade1Up, in a move that was sort of expected, but in a way, at least for me, was still kind of a shock. Earlier last year, Arcade1Up introduced a new version of their claw machine, which, while still mechanically the same, was now wrapped up in the branding of SpongeBob SquarePants. I mean, I thought this was a great move marketing-wise. SpongeBob is just as popular as it's ever been. It's becoming one of the most iconic cartoon series of all time. I mean, when I saw the claw machine myself, I knew I had to have it. But I really had hoped that this would mean that the company was moving in a direction in which it would be able to sustain itself, because there were a lot of people early on predicting that the company was going to end up going under or somebody was going to buy them out. Alas, it was not meant to be, and now it looks like Arcade1Up is going to be absorbed into Basic Fun, or at least parts of it will be. And just like any time a company closes or is bought out by another, there are chances that it could go very right, and chances that it could go very wrong. On one hand, Basic Fun has already released their own first wave of 3/4 scale arcade cabinets, and those were not received very well. Granted, I do think some of the complaints about the cabinets were a little unwarranted, like if you're upset that they called it the WWE WrestleFest cabinet instead of the WWF WrestleFest cabinet, and you know why that company is no longer referred to as the World Wrestling Federation, then why are you getting upset over this? It was never going to be called WWF. I don't know where people thought they were going to get around this, but come on, if you're a wrestling fan, you know that wasn't going to happen. At least I can understand the issue with people being upset that certain wrestlers on the original roster were left off of this game, but again, that gets into licensing and that can get weird sometimes. Or the issue with the Atari Centipede themed cabinet, which came with a lot of games, but the control panel that they installed on the thing basically made some of those games completely unplayable. One of the games on this thing was a game that required 4 players playing against each other, and the best you could do on the control panel were 2 players. And I think maybe the Atari and Star Wars cabs both had washed out monitors or something. I'm not sure, but I just know that people were left very underwhelmed with this first wave. Having said that, I think we all remember what that first wave of Arcade1Up cabinets looked like. Those certainly weren't masterpieces. But they did what they were supposed to do. They got people interested in the idea of bringing the arcade experience to their home. I still remember the first time I saw an Arcade1Up product at the warehouse that I was working at the time, and I just immediately thought, this looks really cool. I didn't know how much the thing cost, I didn't know if there were other cabinets out there I could buy, I didn't know anything. All I knew was that seeing that Street Fighter cabinet made me want to have an arcade at my house. So that's one thing that Basic Fun doesn't have to worry about figuring out. Arcade1Up has already proven that there definitely is a community of people who want to be able to have their own home arcade out there. I mean, eventually Arcade1Up cabinets got so popular that a lot of major gaming YouTubers started putting them in the background of their videos, which is why I started doing that, because I thought it looked cool. Yes, I'm a copycat, shut up. So surely Basic Fun now has all of the knowledge that will allow them to see what led to the rise of Arcade1Up in the first place and what would eventually lead to their downfall. But it's important to remember that there's only so many times you can re-release Pac-Man before people get sick of the little yellow guy. Why do I say that? Well, it's not good to pick up other people's bad habits. With all that said, I'm going to try to remain optimistic. After all, Basic Fun gave us a WWE cabinet, something that Arcade1Up never released. And I don't know what specific assets Basic Fun got from Arcade1Up, but I'm really hoping they're able to do something with that claw machine idea, because Basic Fun sells a lot of toys. I mean, that claw machine is pretty much the perfect gimmick for this company. They already have a lot of toy deals with a lot of well-known brands. You couple those two things together and you could probably make a lot of money. Plus, I've heard talk that maybe there's a chance that Basic Fun could keep the Arcade1Up branding around. I mean, we all saw the fallout of what happened when they renamed Twitter into X. Nobody calls it that. So yeah, I am a little bit bummed that Arcade1Up is going to cease to exist as it did, but maybe this asset buyout will actually help improve the state of things for this niche little hobby of ours. I think if they can just maintain a steady flow of new titles and don't fall back into the old pattern of re-releasing the same cabinet over and over and over again, then they could stand to be real successful. And I think they should continue to experiment a little bit. That claw machine was a really great idea, and then in that leaked Hello Kitty collab that never happened, there was some sort of unique capsule-based game that we never got to see. Time will tell if Basic Fun will be able to get to the heights that Arcade1Up reached back at their peak. But in the meantime, I just want to say thank you to Arcade1Up for inspiring me to make my own home arcade. Without you guys, I would never have done that. But what do you guys think about this whole situation? Are you excited about Basic Fun buying out the assets of Arcade1Up? Thanks for watching this video, I really appreciate it. If you want to support my channel, then be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Now, in honor of the legacy of Arcade1Up, here's a picture of Hanna-Barbera Pac-Man. He would have wanted it this way.